We must start totally winning and winning and winning again. Remember when I used to say, we're going to win so much? We're going to win that the people of Missouri are going to go to your governor and they're going to say, Governor, please go see the president. We can't stand winning so much. Remember, I used to say that?
The question is, does the winning also apply to the crypto market? The launch of the Trump coin definitely wasn't too great for Trump holders, but wasn't that great for the rest of the crypto market either. People that bought the Trump meme coin are now down more than 86%. The market as a whole tends to be red, and since Trump's inauguration, Bitcoin tended to rather go down. From the top to the current price, we have lost 21%. The altcoins got hit even more. They underperformed the rest of crypto by another 14%. Now this is, to be fair, not just something that started with the Trump inauguration. The altcoins as a fraction of all of crypto are going down for quite a while already, for the last 3.5 years to be exact. It's a very interesting effect. The Trump meme coin launch brought the crypto prices go down, but it did help money flowing into crypto. So when we look at the stablecoin market cap, so the conversions from fiat currency to cryptocurrency, we tended to see a boost following the Trump inauguration and following the Trump meme coin launch. This here is the stablecoin market cap, and it crashed when Terra Luna went bust and continued to contract with the implosion of the centralized exchange FTX, and that then turned around in October of 2023. Since then, we are in expansion mode again. And in the month before the Trump meme coin launch, we didn't see new money flowing into crypto. The launch actually did cause a new wave of investors entering, and we still see in aggregate money flowing in, but it's not as quickly anymore as it used to be. The reason why prices are going down is not because money is flowing out of crypto, it's because the people that are in crypto, they tend to rather swap out of the risky assets. They swap from risky altcoins to stablecoins. And that is why the stablecoin dominance is pretty high with 8%. It had been higher in the past. So in November of 2022, it was close to 19%. And that was a phenomenal time to buy Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was at 16K during that time. But just for the trading range in the last year, we are now at a local high. So people are comparatively scared. If the stablecoin dominance is going down, crypto prices go up. When the stablecoin dominance continues to rise, crypto prices could fall further. If prices were to rise from here, it has to be because the current investors in crypto deploy their capital again. It's not going to be because new people enter the space, because attention on crypto is very, very low right now. Check this out. This is the number of search queries for Bitcoin. It's a 5-year chart, and it peaked in the week from the 10th to the 16th of November of last year. That was over here when we hit new all-time highs. It's always the new all-time highs that bring in a lot of attention. Since then, we saw less and less search queries, and so the price has a hard time rising. It tends to rather bleed from here. People think that this time is different because this time we've got the ETFs, we've got a direct link from Wall Street to the crypto world. But does this really change the overall dynamic? What we see over here is the ETF flows for the Ethereum ETF. Now, Ethereum saw mainly outflows in the last weeks. So because of that direct link from Wall Street to crypto, we saw a depressed Ethereum price. So the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust continues to see selling pressure. This is Ethereum relative to Bitcoin, and this arrow over here marks the move from proof of work to proof of stake. So since that move, Ethereum underperformed Bitcoin by 74% roughly. Had you swapped all of your Ethereum into Bitcoin with that change in tokenomics, you would now have almost 4 times as much money. And so I see this as a proof that in the end, what really counts in crypto is the narrative, it's the demand, it's not necessarily the supply. If supply mattered that much, then Ethereum should not have underperformed Bitcoin, at least not to that degree. Because Bitcoin supply since the merge grew by on average 1.4% per annum. Currently the inflation rate is 0.85 because we saw our halving event. Had Ethereum not changed to proof of stake, it would have even expanded faster, but because of the change, Ethereum supply grew much less than Bitcoin supply. It pretty much just was steady. So there's way more more supply growth for Bitcoin versus Ethereum, yet Ethereum underperformed Bitcoin that massively. Bitcoin's ETF demand, on the other hand, seems to be a bit healthier. It's not always going up. We do sometimes have our outflows, but we are somewhat balanced. Now, does the ETF really change the dynamics in crypto? I'm not so sure. What I think really matters is what the long-term holders are doing. What we see here in green is the ETF change. So when this is positive, it means the ETF is buying. So that's the green area, and we compare this to the blue area, which is the long-term holder supply. So the long-term holders tend to sell at price peaks. They tend to buy at price bottoms. They have sold a lot again at around 100K, and currently they start to buy in again. I'm going to watch this chart very, very closely. If we hit similar levels to August of 2024, I might stop shorting. Currently, I'm shorting the market. I'm betting on falling prices. Since we hit 100K, I've sold pretty much all of my Bitcoin, and I'm just betting on falling prices. But if the long-term holders start buying in massively again, as they did at the end of August, beginning of September of last year, I take that as a very important signal as well. Currently, we are not there yet. Currently, this is still somewhat noise. Similar to May of 2023, it's not yet strong enough of a signal. I'm personally working with the assumption that the current trends simply prevail, unless proven otherwise. Currently, Bitcoin tends to outperform most other altcoins, and that's what I'm betting on. This is the Bitcoin dominance, and it is close to new heights. We have been higher in the past, but the current trend is very, very clear. Bitcoin takes up a larger and larger fraction of all of crypto. In other words, when Bitcoin is currently going down, the altcoins go down much more. Thus, betting on falling altcoins is probably better than betting on falling Bitcoin prices. You don't want to bet on falling altcoins when the Bitcoin dominance crashes, right? This is altcoin season, but altcoin season is very, very quick, right? It just happens over the span of a few weeks, and then that cools off very quickly. It's always a rotation that happens when Bitcoin dominance is close to 70%. We are not there yet. We are only at 62%. It might take the entire 2025 and potentially 2026 until we hit those heights again. I think it's likely that the others' dominance will break this long-term trend. So we did see how in the early years, the altcoins got more and more of crypto. So this is the cryptocurrency market cap that are not in the top 10. So measured as a fraction of all of crypto. So we saw all of that adoption. And the peak was in January of 2022. And I believe that this floor is likely going to get broken if Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. So betting on falling alts, I think, is the way to go. New people are not entering the space, and the investors that are already in the space tend to take off more and more risk. Too many people got burned with meme coins and with AI agents, and now it's all just back to the roots. Now, when things don't look that great, when most altcoins are going down and when they especially underperform versus Bitcoin, I think actually it's time to make money. It's not time to exit the market. This is what most people do. I think that bear markets are actually the easier markets to make profit. Because have a look at this screenshot here. This is a premium member that shorted a token with a modest leverage of 3x, and that made 25%. This is his message, tagging me. I made my first profit. Thanks. I'm not sharing the exact asset because we are still betting on falling prices of that asset. Again, there are some very weak altcoins that sometimes pump that we can then short, where we can make very easy profit during times like this. Most altcoins are now deflating. It's an always repeating story. What we've got over here is XRP relative to Bitcoin. So this is a relatively long-term chart starting in March of 2021. And whenever we see positive news, when all of attention goes to XRP, the price is rallying, but then sooner or later we do get our crashes. And it's relatively straightforward to make money with those crashes. We're simply looking at what currently pumped a lot, where didn't we see any new all-time highs, but where are we likely going to stay in the trading range, and then we just bet on falling prices. And especially when there's currently a bear market, when a price relative to Bitcoin goes down by 74%, we can make more than even just 74%, right? We can lever this up slightly as well. Or have a look at Dogecoin, right? The same story. Elon Musk tweets about Dogecoin, it goes up, and then afterwards the attention moves to the next token, and we just see a continued price decline. This is again 74%. We made money shorting Dogecoin, by the way. So I'm sharing all the trades that I do betting on falling prices with all the premium members. There are also alternative ways where we don't have to be that active, right? There are some altcoins that are that bad in tokenomics, where the supply is increasing that quickly relative to the demand, that the underperformance relative to Bitcoin is pretty much just a straight line. So what we've got over here is Balancer relative to Bitcoin, and it simply just continues to go down. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this position here is because the tokenomics aren't as bad anymore compared to a few years ago, right? I was shorting this throughout the whole of 2024, and I've closed that short now. But the reason why charts like this exist, the reason why we can make money with this, is because the supply increases over time. But this is now Balancer, and a year ago we saw how the circulating supply would still go up by like 30-40% within a year. This is not anymore the case. So relatively speaking, Balancer doesn't expand that quickly anymore. That's why the underperformance is slowing down. That's why I'm now sharing this publicly on YouTube, right? I didn't share this on YouTube in 2023 and 2024. This is where I only shared this in premium. We really have to be realistic about the market. I believe strongly that the long term wins the game. It's always about being consistent. It's always about beating the market over the long term and have proper risk management. Making money in crypto is not just about finding the next 100x meme coin. That can work with a lot of research during a bull run, and when we've got a lot of influencers that all coordinate each other that then push up the price. But in a bear market, that doesn't work. When there's no new investors joining, that's not the way to make money. I mean, just have a look at this. This is the top 100 tokens. And what we've got over here is Bitcoin, and this is ordered by the performance in the last year. We've got 16 altcoins that outperformed Bitcoin in the last year. 2 of those altcoins, by the way, are gold derivatives. So this is just the gold price going up. So in the end, we've only got 14 out of the top 100 cryptocurrencies that did better than Bitcoin. The vast majority of altcoins did much worse than Bitcoin. And that happened during a period where Bitcoin actually went up. Bitcoin during the time period went up by 25% almost. This is something most people don't understand. Most people think that when Bitcoin is going up by 25%, that the altcoins in theory should go up even more because they are smaller in market cap, they are more volatile, they are somewhat of a levered Bitcoin, but that's only true to a degree. Bitcoin can go up by 25% in a year, and still the vast majority of altcoins does worse than BTC. So instead of trying to find the next 10x meme coin, when it's all just player versus player and when no new people enter the space, instead of trying to beat the impossible game, why not get the odds in our favor, right? When more than 80% of altcoins in the top 100 do worse than Bitcoin, why not bet on that? Why not bet on the 80% doing worse than BTC and make money with that? That's personally what I currently do, and that's also what the premium members are doing. That's how short-term gains like this happen, while the vast majority of people are just losing. Now, I have not seen any other influencer being that transparent about their own performance, but I want to share what kind of performance I make, and I also want to share this over time, as in not just I have made X%, but I want to share how volatile the game actually is. Crypto trading is a game of both luck and skill. And the longer we are engaged, the more trades we do, the more the skill component will be stronger compared to the luck component, right? It's pretty much like in a casino. If you play versus a casino over the long term, you will lose money. You might win money short term, right? Because the luck is on your side, but over the long term, the odds, the expected value is what plays out. And so what we see over here is a scatter plot. How much did I outperform buying and holding Bitcoin every single month in the last 3.5 years? Some months have been incredible outperformances over buying and holding Bitcoin, right? The very best month was over here with 25% outperformance, but we also had pretty poor months, like over here, an underperformance of 18%. So the thing is fluctuating. What we've got as a dotted line here is a 12-month moving average. Most 12-month averages have been positive. When we average out all of those data points, we come to 2.1% per month. So in other words, on average, I make alpha over buying and holding of 2.1% per month. So when we compound this, it's a bit over 25% per year. Now, is this enough? Depends on how much you're betting, right? If you only have $100 to invest, it doesn't matter. But if you've got $10,000, maybe even more than that, it does matter, because again, this comes on top of Bitcoin's performance. And so here's what I believe Bitcoin will do over the long term. Instead of just looking at the direct prices, I prefer to look at the realized price, so the average cost basis. Over time, the current price is hovering around that realized price, like the average cost basis, but the cost basis itself tends to increase quite steadily. And this increase over the last few years was roughly 25% per annum, 30 to 25%. I'm rather conservative, I say 25%. So we've got a bit over 25% per annum from trading. We've got a bit over 25% per annum from just buying and holding Bitcoin. So compounding this again is more than 50% per annum. If you've got more than $10,000 and you put this into 50% per annum long term over the next 3-4 years, that kind of money does matter, right? Isn't that better than trying to gamble it all away with meme coins? Meme coins are ultra risky, and that's why most people just put a few $100 in them, maybe $1,000 here and there. But if you've got a strategy that's somewhat limited in risk and where you have a long-term track record, then putting in more money, allocating more of the overall wealth towards such a portfolio does make sense, right? Then we can play in the tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. We don't have to just bet $100. Now, everything I've just explained is in more detail in the premium membership in the tutorial section. There's more than 100 premium tutorials in the membership, and it's not just about shorting, it's not just about betting on falling prices, it's also about risk management, about asset allocation, about on-chain analytics, etc. Besides the tutorials, I also share, of course, what kind of trades I do, so that you can simply just copy trade me, right? You don't have to go into every single altcoin in detail all the time. I dare to say that most crypto communities probably lost money in the last few weeks. And I don't think that's true for the premium membership here. I do believe that the vast majority of our members made money because we were prepared. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I refund you 100%. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you again on YouTube or see you in premium. Cheers!